Greetings, you're watching video E that includes the Miradi question and answer portion of the Miradi session at the 2018 CCNET Rally. You can access the link to the playlist of all 5 videos and direct links to any of the videos by clicking on the Show More link in the video description located below the playback window.
I guess from a perspective, I know there's a lot of organizations who kind of do things at the program level, but there's as well a particular aspect of work we're doing at the community level, much more individual projects. Beforehand, that a lot of the program templates, I guess, wouldn't necessarily. We wouldn't have a program on Miradi Share for our work that always doing projects, so it would make work a lot easier for us if all of those templates are available on a project level because we work with individual communities. I think that is equally like it links into the exporting of the information like regarding the work plan. Like it's greater program templates available, but the customization is not always projects on the ground really require.
Right. So I see that as a potential future place to go for template reports to be able to support the broader community. As Frank is mentioning, anybody with a free account on Miradi Share can come in and share the work that they're doing. I'm in the community library right now, and if I scroll down to the bottom, I'm not. But even if I log in with a free account, you see that there are, I think there's several hundred projects that people who don't have a Miradi Share program account are sharing their information in the community library. This is a powerful way. Yeah, there's 393 records that are in here that you can browse. So I see that as some place that we could go. Right now, we're interested in trying to generate interest and have, really try to cost share the type of solution that Puget Sound Partnership has been generous to help build the R&D around this, but we're also looking for other people to help build these solutions that the whole community can use. Yeah, Debbie.
I don't know if this is really a question or not, but just kind of stimulate some discussion on how, at what level in organizations, probably organization specific, but do you figure out who in the organization needs to be able to input data into Miradi? Goes back to what Nick was saying, how, because the Puget Sound folks, everybody, I guess, who's getting funding for them is required, each organization is required to use Miradi, and that it just, in the Nature Conservancy, at least in our chapter, there's some folks who use it just, to create a diagram, and that's kind of it. And there's folks like myself who use it to, put everything in there for our strategic planning. And I'm just kind of struggling with how do we figure out how many people need to have what level of expertise in this to make this go more like what Bush Heritage is doing. And, some of the other organizations like Puget Sound Partnership, where it's globally accepted and used within the organization.
Let me comment on that. That's a great point. I think it's something that maybe through the Miradi users groups, different folks could share their experiences with this question. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all answer, but in general, there's a couple ways to sort of address that problem. One of them is, and I think we talked a bit of this, we heard about Puget Sound, there is a mandate or sort of a kind of a stick element to this, right? And I'll give you an example. There is one software system that I guarantee that every one of you who works for organizations interacts with every 2 weeks. It may be fledgy, it may be horrible, but you do it every 2 weeks. It's your payroll system, right? I mean, if you have to put your hours in to get paid, people do it whether or not they want to do it. So there is some element of, is the organization going to decide to do something? On the software side, though, this is one of the things that I think we're heading towards in the Miradi world, is that we can also figure out ways to input data that might not be so scary. So that if I'm a person who's just doing finance, updating finance, I shouldn't have to download a whole Miradi file and scroll to some obscure part of the work plan to enter some basic data. We should be able to do that online in a form that looks like a form that you're used to doing without having to go through all that work. So we're thinking about this as easy on-ramps, sort of finding some of those key business processes that people have to go through that Miradi might be supporting, and then creating user-friendly forms for both the enter the data and or what you see today, get the data out to Facebook. I think it's a little bit of both, of being smarter about the data entry, making it easier, making it more accessible, figuring out who needs to do what without everybody has to do everything, and some figuring else to some degree.
Yeah, and this is just one example that speaks to what Debbie mentioned. I'm looking at an activity summary progress tracking report for the Oregon Nature Conservancy. They have 500 activities in this dashboard. It's a drillable dashboard. These are their strategies. Over on the left, I can see the full name of them by putting the cursor on it. But then I can click on these bars, and it will open up a little, a dialog box that shows the status by activity. And I can see, why things are having major issues or minor issues. All of this data got entered directly into Miradi Share by users who, most of the users have never seen Miradi Desktop. And we just gave them a very simple, like 2-page instruction. And when they came in to do their work, I'm now in the, switched over to the edit view. All they did is clicked on one of these bars, and there's a user-friendly menu here where they can say, all right, what is the status of this activity? I could add a new report and just give it, today's date and assign it. Now this one's completed, and I can type in an explanation of, finally done, and save that. And now I've just updated the status of that activity. Every single person could do that simultaneously online at the same time. There's not a limit. So this is kind of where we were trying to go in the future, is have more of the project entry and editing available for people who have a good internet connection in an online environment this way. And the feedback that we got from people who, were kind of worried about learning all the bells and whistles of Miradi Desktop, the program manager said this was so much better than the Word Excel tool that they were using before, where people were checking it out and emailing it around, and it was really hard to keep track of it. And now they know right where the master copy and the program managers can see it. Everyone can learn from what's going on around the program in a much more efficient way. Yes.
For me, so I'm in an organization that doesn't use open standards or Miradi yet, and I really love them too. And thank you, Annette, for coming to do and actually talking to our team about the power of it. But I was wondering whether this links to, use it so I can see the power and the value for my senior executive teams, the grant manager, etc. But can it link to then perhaps that question? I don't know if this is available or not, but what type of kind of tutorials or videos could you put together? Perhaps one that kind of actually highlights the power and the value of all of the stuff that's being developed. That is, because I'm trying to work out now, how do I go to my senior team and go, hey, this is amazing, and I can see the value, can see all these people are engaged, and the outputs and the outcomes that help us measure what's happening. But I'm trying to work out in my mind, how do I put that together in a package without having to ask it to come back to my team and go, can you please present why this is valuable? So I don't know, does that exist already?
We have, I have a version that's internal to TNC. It's kind of like a Why Miradi tutorial, but I think it would be a valuable one to put up on the community page as well. And it really kind of speaks to the advantages of this approach of really a touch once type of way to manage your information, kick it out in different formats, as opposed to the Microsoft Office suite, which is the most typical way that most people are managing their conservation information right now, oftentimes copying and pasting it multiple times. So I think, yes, I think we should add another video to the playlist that really kind of covers that. It's really a tool for you guys to help market the value of using open standards and Miradi in the work that you're doing.
And then, it's ways to kind of, really kind of kickstart it and be out there to show the value.
Yep.
And again, more organizations involved, more money to go towards improving the status quo.
Yep. Okay, let's take one more question in the back, and then to honor your lunch break, we'll leave the last few minutes for you to fill out your evaluation on your app, but yes, please.
Well, two things quickly. One is we've just got over that hump. We just our organization to buy 10 subscriptions, but we had to compare Miradi to other software on the market because we couldn't single source procure Miradi without showing that they've looked at 3 different comparables. So I don't know if that information, if others had to do that, it might be something useful to put up that kind of comparison. And then just advice, so we could only afford budget for 10 desktops, but we've now been told that we've got a proof, and this year's the usefulness of it. And I think it's probably better if our managers can see the usefulness by being able to interact themselves. So are you suggesting that they could get a free Miradi share, and we could link our individual projects to that, and our managers can kind of see what we're doing, and we could even have to make some reports for them on Miradi share?
Yeah.
I'm getting that right, but that's how it might work.
Go ahead, Nick.
So let me comment a little bit on pricing, supplemental lot. And that was a very good slide that you shared. That shows the typical IT systems that most organizations have. So your finance system, your accounting system, your human rights, your human resources system. Most organizations pay tens of thousands of dollars, euros, whatever your currency is, for the rights to those systems. And most organizations pay, it's hard to get $300 for a Miradi license to manage compensation, which is your core work. So we are doing Miradi as a not-for-profit, but to build this stuff, we have to pay pretty expensive engineers. We really need top-notch. A lot of it is done by volunteers, but we do need engineers to on this. So we do charge license fees to recover costs. Every dollar we get goes straight back to the engineering to make the engineering better, or to pay people to do support and things like that. So we do charge. It's user-supported. But we also don't want money to be a barrier. So we're trying to stagger it so that larger organizations have bigger licenses, smaller organizations have smaller licenses. And if money is a barrier, come talk to us and we'll figure it out.
And Jen, to your point, anyone can download a fully functional version of Miradi Desktop on the website. Anyone can create a free account in Miradi Share and use the community library. So there's ways to demonstrate to leaders in an organization the advantages of switching from existing ways of managing this information over to this platform. And then you can use that as hopefully as a basis to say, let's set up a program so that we can take advantage of these template reports and things like that as well. Okay, thanks everyone for coming to the session this morning. We got kind of a little bit of a late start, but we're back on time. Please do fill out the evaluation on your meeting app, and contact us with questions, suggestions. Keep an eye open for the new version of Miradi Desktop that's coming out in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, let's continue to make this a
That concludes this video in the playlist of Miradi recordings from the CCNET Rally Miradi session. Click on the Show More link in the video description below to access the playlist or direct links to the other 4 videos.